Okay, so we've got the subframe out in this episode, along with the suspension, front suspension, the hubs, the whole lot. I did look at taking it just all out as one unit. I decided it was likely so rusty it might be easy to get bits apart with them on the car because I've got a bit of weight. Things are really rusty, as you'll find out. Some bits have been taken apart, others I'm still going to have to do. But it's all off, and this is how I did it. Car's been moved to the other side of the garage because we have some building work going on, and so the stag has been moved over. I do need to clean this up, what a mess, at some point, but today I'm going to start on the subframe. So in theory you can lower the subframe with the suspension all in one go. The images I've seen of it, people have done it with a lift. I haven't seen them do it just with jacks, because I don't know how rusted everything's going to be and how hard it's going to be to get them apart. I think it might be easier in the long run to take it off bit by bit. So my aim is to try to take this suspension off this side today. You can't actually see, but we've got two bolts clearly back here that attach the steering arm to the stub axle, which we need to take off. Right, and the next thing to do is remove the last bolt holding the brake caliper in place. Mind you, I suspect it's rusted on. Okay, so these appear to be rusted in place, so we're just going to try to squeeze it out a bit. See if I can get a bit of a gap. Been sat on the floor trying to work out best approach to doing all of this, and whether I take the hub off first and then the spring or what anyway, and I haven't quite worked it out. I'm just looking at trying to work out where the tensions are and not get anywhere. So this is just a note to myself for later. These are the three bolts that hold on place the steering arm. 1, 2, 3. The steering arm and the caliper to the hub. The short one goes in the caliper at the top. The next shortest one, because these are all slightly different sizes, goes in the caliper at the bottom, and the longest one goes through the steering arm connector at the front of the steering arm. It's, you can see it's got quite dark outside. I had to pop out and do some stuff, so we're going to stop for tonight. We'll come back to this again tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to take off the hub. So we'll start by getting that cap off. We'll try and the split pin out. We've got a hole in here, so I think we might be getting new grease caps. Okay, well, I've not quite seen a castellated nut like that before. That's interesting. Don't know if that's standard on a TR7. Oh. Right, so I'm unable to get anything onto that nut and turn it and get it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the sway bar. You saw me take off this nut here already. So I'm going to work around, take them off and take it off from the other side. And then I'm going to try to remove the lower wishbone here, and I think that should free it all up. So I've taken out the bolts retaining the sway bar. One of them wasn't connected up and was rusted on solid, so that was an interesting piece. I've taken the nuts off from the sway bar to the lower wishbone, and I'm going to try to free that up. Right, so I don't seem to be able to budge a lot of this stuff. But I do have a spring. I have a jack under there. Plus I got these held on with these spring compressors, so these just holding it. So I reckon if I undo from the top, I reckon that should come out. What do you reckon? I then should be able to lower it and then get at this one a bit more easily and remove that arm. So that's what we're going to try. Okay, well that's got that loose, but it's not loose enough to come out of the bottom yet. It's won't go down far enough. So it's held in place by the sway bar still, which I haven't been able to get off. And the lower wishbone. So I'm going to have a little think about that and come back. So with a little bit more twisting, this came out of the sway bar, so I reckon that should come out now, which means that I should then be able to get this to drop. So this. Okay, so that's one spring off. We've got a hub off, we've got a spring off. I can't get that wishbone arm to move at all at the moment. So we're just going to label up some of this stuff so that I don't forget where things go, and then we'll have a look at the other side. Right, well, now see if I learned anything on the other side and if I do this one a bit better. This one has no pads in it. There was no nut on the end of this bolt. This is holding the lower wishbone to the subframe. It's all very rusted together. Okay, so problems I got here is I've got a split pin that is broken and I can't get either end out. So I can't get this castellated nut off, which is bigger on the other side for some reason, or appears to be. This wishbone is out, but I can't get it loose, and I can't get the sway bar to budge at all at the moment. So I think we want to Well, actually, if I get this out here, so let's get a crowbar. If I get that out, then it should all just drop out. So crowbar, it's got tabs here which actually stops me from pushing it down. It's got to come this way a bit. You can see when I tried to do that, I actually lifted the whole car up because we haven't got much weight here any longer. Maybe at this point I just let it all down. Let's do that. Okay, the car's back away in its corner. The only thing I haven't been able to find, and I've dropped somewhere, is my locking nut. You know, the key. So I'm going to have to find that at some point, but it must be over here somewhere. I probably ought to do it now before I forget, but we'll see. I've been trying to just put at least, you know, the bolts back in place where they come from, bolts, the washers and stuff like that, comparing it to the images here, and I don't seem to have everything that was there, so I don't know if they're just, I mean, some of them, it's just that they're, look at that, just rusted through, and so we're going to have a look at what is available to buy to recover this. I have still got to get everything apart, and clearly I haven't managed to do that yet. But I'm going to call this episode done. Felt like progress today. I've got to work out where to put this stuff now. So in the next episode, we will finish taking this apart, and then hopefully get on with some welding of the engine bay.